This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
So this week I have a crazy story for you. Every week, I think we did a different midah, B'tachon, Bil Tefillah. This week we're going to tell a story about Don B'Kav Schos. So, Pesach Cohen says a story from one of the greatest Magidim in the past 100 years. His name was Rabbi Yankel Galinsky. Rabbi Yankel Galinsky, Zechat Tzaddik Livracha, on a Varakar tells the following story, one that we should never ever forget. There was once a couple, we'll call them the Schwartz couple, and they lived in a community where there was a kiruv organization. Kiruv is where people bring other Yidden in that they're not religious, and they help them out to become from. They have them for Shabbos, they have them for Yontif, they have them for meals, and they try to show them the warmth, the beauty of Yiddishkeit. So, the Schwartzes went over, they approached this kiruv organization, and they said, do you have a family that you can send us, that we can have hashpah, that we can inspire, that we can hopefully be mekarv them, bring them to Yiddishkeit? And they said, okay, we're going to give it some thought. And they sent them Dr. and Mrs. Klein. We'll call them the Kleins. The Kleins came over to the Schwartzes, Dr. Klein and his wife, they weren't from, and they came over to the Schwartzes every few months. They would come over once, they came over another Shabbos, they came over 3 times. And every time they were getting so inspired. They loved the Zmiras, they loved the singing, they loved the warmth, the Kiddush, the delicious challah, soup and fish was so gishmak. They're really feeling the beauty of Shabbos. The 4th time that Dr. Klein and his wife came, they started feeling close to the Schwartzes. And the Schwartzes, after the Shabbos, they said, thank you so much for coming. They walked them out to the street. They escorted them. And the Schwartzes couldn't believe what they saw. They saw that Dr. and Mrs. Klein were flagging down a taxi. And they said, how could this be? We're trying to be Makar of them. It's already been 4 times we already had them. We're supposed to... And they're taking a taxi in front of our face. They're flagging down a taxi on Shabbos. This is terrible. And immediately, they got on the phone. They called to the kiruv organization. They said, these are nice people, but obviously we're not connecting. We're not speaking the same language. We're not having them anymore. Okay, fine. A year later, the Schwartzes that were bringing in the Kleins, they got a call from the kiruv organization. Hi, who is this? It's us. It's Rabbi so-and-so from the kiruv organization. We have a request for you. The Kleins, Dr. and Mrs. Klein that used to come to your house, the doctor passed away. He died. And Mrs. Klein is very sad. She's sitting alone. She doesn't have her husband. It will be a tremendous opportunity if you go and be Menachem Alba, if you can go and sit with Mrs. Klein. He said, okay, fine. They went down, even though they weren't connected anymore. It's been so long since they were there for Shabbos. And they went down and they were schmoozing and they were Menachem Alba. And Mrs. Klein said to the Schwartzes, I just want to let you know, it was so sad because the last time we came to your house for Shabbos, it was really sad. That time we made it, but recently this past week my husband didn't make it. And they're thinking, what do you mean this time and last time and made it, didn't make it? And they said, can you explain what you mean? And they said, well, the last time we came to your house for Shabbos, my husband's a doctor, Dr. Klein, a very well-known doctor, and he started feeling his heart racing and beating really fast, and he was getting very nervous. And immediately he said, let's flag down a taxi, because he realized he was having a heart attack. And Baruch Hashem, in the nick of time, they were able to jump into the taxi, get to the hospital, and they're able to bring him back to health. But this past week, unfortunately, my husband had another heart attack, and he passed away. And right then and there, the Schwartzes realized what a big mistake they made. They called the kiruv organization and they said, we're not connecting, and they're not for us, and they're disrespectful that they jumped into a taxi after the Suda Shabbos on Friday night. But little did they know that Dr. Klein was having a heart attack and he needed to be rushed to the hospital and save his life. And the opportunities that they could have had of hashpah for a whole nother year, of having them for Shabbos and trying harder, they lost all of that. And Dr. Klein died. For us, you always have to remember how important it is, even if we can't imagine what could it possibly be. Down the Kav Schos, the mission of us tells us, have you done us call Adam Kav Schos? Always judge your friend favorably, always give the benefit of doubt. And even when it looks like Chil Shabbos, we say, how can... Never forget, Hashem says, don't judge your friend until you're in his place. You can never know what someone else is going through, what else is happening in someone else's life, and we always have to remember, Don Lekav Spus. Let Hashem be the judge, and we judge our friend favorably, and we leave everything else to Hashem. We always judge our friends favorably, and be marbeh ahavas kinam, and in that merit, Mashiach should come. Should hear Amenu Amen. Good Tavach.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.